understand the stories that we each carry and the role that we play in helping to raise the sky and help our fellow man, our fellow woman, our fellow neighbor, and our fellow friend. I'd like to introduce Jamisha Douglas.
Hello, everyone. Is the mic on? Sure I'm not loud enough? We're not up there, baby. Okay.
Right up.
Can you hear me now? Good job. Growing up living from pillar to post, I was a stubborn and rebellious teenager. But I thought it was fun. Or at least I thought it was until reality really sunk in. I thought it was awesome that I got to live in different states and meet different people. And see, I've lived in 6 different states and I'm not even a military kid. But it became learned behavior that when things got rough, pack up and go to the next destination. As I got older, it got harder because I had to defend and fend for myself. I got kicked out of high school for fighting, but boy was I the most happily angry teenager known to man. With no high school diploma and wanting money to survive, I turned to the streets for support. I started out selling, which turned into using, and my using turned into more using than selling, which put me into debt with my roommate. That was the first time I ever really became homeless. From there, I lived with this friend and stayed overnight with that friend. And during that time, I was able to really see who my real friends were, which was slim to none. I started dating this guy who I thought was my angel in disguise until the disguise came off. And I went through a domestic violence situation, which once again led me to homelessness. Something has got to give, is all I kept telling myself. I went back to the streets and got a part-time job at a telemarketing place, and I also went back to school to get my GED. I felt on top of the world. I had enough money to get my own place and fix the piece of junk car that I had at the time, and I also was able to get on with my life. Unfortunately, during this time I got pulled over and charged with possession and false information upon a law enforcement officer. And I felt like that was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. I spent a month and a few weeks and a few days in jail, but you know what? That actually was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. My sentence was community service, probation, and some fines. My probation officer was the game changer that I actually needed. She provided me with tough love and support, and with her help, I was able to better manage my life situation. I wasn't yet at the control part of my recovery or even managing my anger, but I did stop using my drug of choice, and I started looking for full-time employment. Over the next few years, I spent my life on a roller coaster ride. I went through some ups, some downs, and some turnarounds, and eventually I made my way to Valley Cities for mental health counseling. My counselor helped me to better understand my illness and gave perspective on what I was dealing with. Jennifer Bergman was my counselor, and she is awesome sauce. I mean, you guys know who she is. She is awesome. She led me to the community resources me and my family desperately needed at the time. And she didn't pressure me to take medication. She provided me with other options and different ways to cope. She was exactly who I desired as a counselor. What I needed the most when I first got off the streets were personal hygiene products and a place to do laundry and a safe place to live. Also money for transportation to get to meetings, court dates, and also medical appointments. But I also needed clean clothes and decent clothes to go on job interviews. I finally got a job and was doing well. Then, once again, life happened. I had a manic episode at work and I ended up getting fired. But just like previous experiences, it ended up being yet another blessing in disguise for me. I went looking for another job and I landed a job in the Standard Supportive Housing program at Valley Cities. service whatsoever. But they told me that they hired me because of my real life experience in homelessness and also my knowledge of landlord-tenant laws, because I knew them. I was able to find housing for me and my family and use the resources I gained personally to help individuals professionally, and I gained confidence in doing so. My supervisor at the time suggested that I become a peer counselor. I checked into it, I attended the training classes, and I took the state exam, and I passed with a 97. I heard about Phoenix Rising being a program for young adults, and I wanted in. When the peer position was announced, I jumped at the chance and I actually got it. Now, I help at-risk young adults who were dealing with homelessness get housed, and they were in the same position I was in just a few years ago. My desire is to be a change agent, like my probation officer and Jennifer was to me. I want to give them a little tough love and guidance and a lot of encouragement. Let them know if I can do it, then they can too. I want to help them get into school and get a trade so that they can get employment, so that they can fulfill their lives and know that their future is as bright as they want it to be. My heartfelt desire is to see every one of them live happily and productive. I want them to grab life by the horns and take it on. So I ask today that you help me in helping them to fulfill their lives. There are things that I needed to turn my life around and being able to get my life on track. And I'm wondering if you can assist me in doing so and help these young adults in the Phoenix Rising Housing Program. Thank you.
I'm a little spoiled. I haven't worked a day in 2.5 years because I get to work with people at this agency that really care and believe in the miracles that we see happen every single day. Janisha is a beautiful, shining, amazing miracle that Valley City's helped to make. We hope to continue making these miracles. We hope to continue to keep raising the sky. Not just for 52 years, but 50 more. In the hopes that eventually we'll put ourselves out of business because we help people raise their sky.